in honor of it being back to school season, I thought it would be a fun video to compare my makeup, like how I did it when I was in kind of high school, college, to how I do my makeup now. I can tell you right now though, my high school side is going to be quick, minimal products. When I was in high school, I'll pop some photos here. I was not into, I mean, I liked makeup, but makeup wasn't the mega presence that it is now, especially with the coming of like YouTube and influencers and all that kind of stuff. It was very basic. It was honestly probably whatever makeup my mom decided to give me that she tried and didn't like. Really the only things I remember specifically buying was mascara, honestly, and maybe foundation in my shade once I got to college. Like I keep trying to think back to like my high school days, and I don't even remember wearing foundation. I mean, the key things I remember was eyeshadow, mascara, and lipstick. Like, so that's why I kind of combined some of my college time, because I kind of upped my game just a little bit. Let's get started. This side is going to be high school. This side is going to college, high school, college. This is going to be my makeup now. So let's go ahead and start with brows. Guess what? I didn't do diddly squat with brows back then. That wasn't even a thing. Like back then it was all about having, I don't know if per se you would say thin eyebrows or not, but I honestly don't even remember eyebrow pencils existing. Like I don't know if it was that they didn't exist or that I just wasn't into makeup enough to know that these type of products were out there or available to me. Again, I feel like my makeup collection really started with whatever makeup my mom was like, here, if you want some makeup, go through this and pick out what you want. Because I remember in our bathroom in this house now, my mom always kept her makeup in one of the drawers, so like I could go in there and look through her makeup, and she would have like blushes and eyeshadow palettes and what was like mascara. Like my mom has always liked the mascara where you put white on first and then you put on the actual mascara product. So anyways, here is brows. Absolutely nothing done with them back then, not even brushing them or anything. I mean, like I said, brows weren't even on the radar. Okay, moving on to eyes. Back then, eye primer who? That was never, there wasn't, you just didn't. It didn't exist. I never heard of such a thing as an eye primer until recently. So I'm putting some Milani eyeshadow primer on this side. And then on this side, I guess I should state that I was in high school. I graduated in 2008, and then I was in college until 2013. So what I did for eyeshadow was, actually I found a picture of the the trio that I used to use. Like I literally use this all the time. It was always browns, bronzes, sparkly golden brown colors, because I remember that being like, well, that makes your blue eyes pop. So that was always the colors that I went for. So I don't have that anymore, but the closest thing I probably have to it now from Maybelline is the City Mini palette in Rooftop bronzes. But I'm only going to use 2 colors because there was no crease color, outer V color, blending color. Like you just slapped on your eyeshadow and you went out the door. So I probably would have went in with this color, something similar to that, this bronze. Used my finger and put it all over the lid. Then I would have used the applicator that came with the eyeshadow because we didn't have brushes or nothing. And I would take a darker color. This is actually for lipstick, but I'm just gonna attempt my best here. I would take a darker color brown and I would run that along my lash line like eyeliner, but I would use an eyeshadow. And I didn't really start this trend until I would say more so in college. And that would be my eyeshadow in high school. There was no blending. There was nothing like what we do today. Alright, so now for my eyeshadow today, I have kind of the same colors going on. This is the Going Coconuts palette from ColourPop. So now we start with our crease color. I'm using Lovely Bunch. And I'm going to just blend that up into the crease. It's so funny looking back, like, not just how much makeup in and of itself has changed, like how much of its own thing makeup is, and like the makeup community and stuff like that. Okay, then I'm going to take some of the shade De Coco. I'm going to just take my finger and place that into this outer corner. Then I'm going to take some of the shade Cocoa Crush, place that all over the lid. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Palm Reader and pop that right here, and we'll come back and finish that, and that's going to be our inner corner highlight. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Nutty, run that. I still like to do this trend of using a darker eyeshadow as my liner, because I feel like it just gives a little bit more of a softer effect of eyeliner than using like an actual bold eyeliner product. Like, I actually really do enjoy still using eyeshadow as liner. So there is eyeshadow today versus what I would have done in high school. Okay, moving on to face for well, let's go ahead and do mascara actually. So in high school, this is the mascara I bought over and over and over. Like, literally, I used that mascara for so long. I don't even know when I started trying. Oh, I don't think I was. It might be when I started kind of like dabbling into makeup, which would have been when I started my YouTube channel. I finally tried the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I honestly don't know if I tried other mascaras for a long time. So I don't have that mascara, but the closest thing I'm going to get to it is probably the Maybelline Lash Sensational. It's just a tried and true old school mascara that I know has been around for a long time. And back then I never curled my lashes. You just plop your mascara on. I know that that's something I never did in high school. Like, it's funny because my sons, their room was actually my room in high school. So it's funny just thinking back to me sitting on my little piano bench, sitting in front of the mirror in that room and getting ready for school. I feel like when I was in school, I feel like I focused a lot more on my hair than makeup. Probably because where I was in band, especially, I'm using Essence. I knew that it would sweat off, even though band was at the end of the day. Okay, so curled lashes on this side, and I used the Essence Curl and Volume Mascara. It's just funny. It's just funny. It's taking me back. All right, face. So for this side, we did not do priming sprays. We did not do primers. There was no step prior to your foundation. And I am almost pretty sure at whatever point I started using foundation, I was using the Maybelline Fit Me, the matte and poreless. And back then, they did not have these super light shades. Like, I think the lightest back in the day was ivory, and that was always way too yellow for me. So I'm pretty sure whatever I was using was not matching my skin tone back then. And so the closest thing I have is the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth, and this actually is in my shade. This is 102 Fair Porcelain. So also, guess what? No beauty blenders. We didn't have beauty blenders or anything like that. You just put it on with your hand. You just rubbed her in. And for me, there was no concealer, so guess what? This is our concealer as well. Oh, maybe I used one of those white square sponges. I feel like my mom had some of those. Does anybody remember those? Like the white little square spongy things? I almost guarantee I maybe used one of those. Ooh, that does not look the best. Like, I can see the streaks from my fingers as I'm trying to blend this in. Glad I'm not going anywhere today. This would look pretty absurd having your face done two different ways. we're gonna call that quits. All right, so for the Today side of makeup, we're gonna start with a little bit of Catrice priming spray. Right now, my favorite foundation is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh, and that's actually my favorite concealer as well. It's so funny to me because I keep looking back. Oh yeah, thank goodness for these now. I keep trying to think back about like, what did I use as far as makeup is concerned? Because I know I did my makeup. Now, also though, I was really into having lots of shoes. I used to have so many shoes. Oh my gosh, I loved having a different shoe for every outfit. I had brown shoes, I had black shoes, I had heels, I had flats, I had shoes were my kryptonite, as well as sunglasses. I loved sunglasses. I had all kinds. I had different colors. I had like a purple pair, a blue pair, a black pair, a brown pair, an aviator pair, and I was always changing up my sunglasses. And then earrings. I was way into earrings. I still have some. I had two like little tackle box things full of earrings that I would wear different ones all the time. Okay, next step, concealer. Again, going in with ColourPop Pretty Fresh. Gonna go ahead and blend that out again. I don't know. I'm kind of basing my knowledge of makeup off of what I remember seeing my mom use. I know she always liked to wear like the same color lipstick. She liked the mascaras that had the primer and the mascara. I don't remember much about ever seeing her conceal. Maybe Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I know that's been I just cannot remember, to tell you the honest truth. So now we have foundation on and concealer. Thank goodness for the Beauty Blender, because it just makes a world it makes a world of difference. Okay, let me think. Powder. Did I use powder back then? I'm gonna use the NYX on the now side. It would have had to have been a compact powder. Yes, I used, okay, hold on. I know it was from CoverGirl. Oh my gosh, if I can find a picture of it, I'll insert it. It was old school. This is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop for today's makeup. I don't even know, do I have anything that I could apply that kind of powder with? I don't know. I would have had to apply it with like the puff that came with the powder. So I'm going to try my best with this thing. And the only compact powder I have is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh. Now, I know that that is not the powder that I used to have. I know it for a fact. It's a new release. But I think the one that I did have was from CoverGirl. I remember always end up breaking them, and then I would keep this top part as like a mirror. That's about as good as that's going to get. Okay, so now, I'm telling you, makeup back in the day just wasn't what it is now. So back in the day, there was no bronzing. I don't remember ever wearing a bronzer until it had to be late college, early like adulthood, because I just can't remember it to save my life. So on this side, we're not going to do any bronzer. And on this side, you know what time it is. Believe Beauty Sunstruck Marbleized Bronzer in Golden Sienna. Man, how much less pasty would I have looked back then if I had some daggum bronzer? Pasty Princess, Bronze Goddess. Alright, so now let's talk about blush. I do remember using blush. I used one of these like single blush things, but mine it had like the little button on the bottom, and it popped up to where the blush was on the side and the brush was on the side, and then the mirror was like a sliver on the top. So the closest thing I could find to that in my collection is the CoverGirl Instant Cheekbones. Now, I used the applicator that came with this, guys. I didn't have brushes. There wasn't brushes like there is today. I never get phone calls or texts. And then today I'm trying to film, and I've gotten more calls and texts in this past half hour than I normally do in a week, but it's okay. So like I said, I think this brush is going to be the same shape, and I'm just going to go into this middle shade, because whatever blush I had would have been a one shade blush. And then I'm just going to do what I would have done. And I just kind of sweep it on, And then I would have probably gone like this with that little applicator. Would probably be it. I mean, I don't remember doing much else. Alright, and then for this side for blush, I actually grabbed a cream blush because that is something that definitely never did back then, was use a cream blush. I mean, I used that compact blush for a long time. Again, it was probably whatever my mom said that I could take from her makeup drawer. So I'm just gonna pop on. This is the Believe Beauty Color Me Cream Blush in Dollface. Then I'm gonna take the beauty blender that I just used, tap over that, and there we have it. More along the lines of blush that I do nowadays versus high school. Okay, and another product that just I don't really remember doing is highlighter. So for this side for today, I have Flower Day Glow Highlighting Glaze, and this is in Day Glow. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my finger and kind of pounce it onto the highest part of my cheekbone. And there we have it, just a little bit of highlight. Again, I don't really remember highlighter being a thing. I don't know, I'm gonna have to share this to my Facebook page and have my high school friends check it out, because maybe they remember stuff I didn't. I remember we went through like a goth phase in middle school, but other than that, I don't remember makeup being a big thing. All right, so what are we on to now? Okay, another thing that I don't ever remember anybody talking about was contouring. And unfortunately, I think this product is discontinued. This is the Maybelline Master Contour V-shaped duo stick, which is a tragedy because it's a really, really good contouring product. But nobody was like hollowing out their faces when I was in high school. Okay, here's a really good example. For my prom, I remember, oh my gosh, I remember the first time someone did my eyebrows was my wedding, because my friend Jenna did my eyebrows and I thought that they looked so different. And I kept telling my friends, I was like, hey, does this look okay? And now looking back, if she hadn't done that, I would have looked so washed out in my pictures. Like, I remember that's the first time I think someone ever did my eyebrows was my wedding. I don't remember ever contouring. I know eyeshadow, definitely did eyeshadow, but other than that, I don't know. Okay, so contouring. For lipstick, I remember having this as a lipstick, and what's funny is I actually have one of the old tubes of the top gloss that came from this. I don't have the color anymore, so let me find something. Let's see. Okay, so for color, I'm going to use just a little bit of this Snuggle shade from LA Girl, and then you would go in after the product from CoverGirl dried, and you put this gloss over it. I remember I always had super glossy lips. Okay, then today the lipstick that I'm using a lot because, you know, mask and whatnot, is the NYX Lingerie XXL lip in the shade Matte Liquid Lipstick. That's what this is called, and this is in the shade Warm Up. So I just put a little bit, and I kind of use my finger to blend it out. I like kind of that softer, what do you call it? Not faded, but like blurred. That's the word. Blurred look with my lipstick. And then of course, on today's side, after everything is done, you go back in with a little bit of spray. And also something that I didn't do, I know I didn't do in high school. I only did this for like special occasions because I felt like it was kind of saucy and I don't know, it was like daring and dangerous. I was putting a little bit of shadow on my lower lash. I am just going to use this brush because I accidentally threw away that other little applicator we used. So I would take the smallest amount of a dark shade and I would put it very thinly right along my lash line. Now that was special. That was for going out or a special event or, you know, going out to dinner or something. I didn't do that every day. Now today I would take a much fluffier brush, tap in probably to a little bit of this shade of brown and more so buff out that color, not have it so thinly placed like on this side, and then take some of that palm reader, pop it right there for inner corner highlight. And then something I know I didn't do was do lower lash mascara. I honestly did not understand lower lash mascara until I really got into makeup here recently. Like, I would see people do it and I was like, why? Why do you put mascara on your lower lash line? Like, I mean, I never did it, ever. But now I really like it. And so here is the difference between my makeup in high school and college versus how I would do my makeup nowadays. I think the biggest difference is definitely now having bronzer, and then the way that I do my eyeshadow, I feel like this eye looks a lot more open, having a lot more brightness on the lid versus this one color. But I mean, that's what I did. That's what I knew. There was no Pinterest to look up your makeup. I mean, my gosh, I just remember getting a Facebook when I was right at the end of high school. How old was I? I don't even know. I mean, there was no Facebook for a long time. We had MySpace. There was no Pinterest to look up ideas. There was no YouTube beauty influencers. There just wasn't. And also being, especially in high school, before I started working and had a car, I didn't have access to a lot of makeup at the store. I mean, I remember going through the makeup aisles with my mom and being like, oh, can we go on already? Like, it just wasn't something that interested me. So this was the best that I could do back then with my glossy lip. And then today, much more sophisticated and much more on trend. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you will like and subscribe. Let me know down below, what year did you graduate high school or go into college, and what was like a major makeup trend back then that you did that you know isn't around anymore, or maybe something that you wish that was still kind of on trend. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you will like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.